Let's have a conversation. I'm your host, Class, and this is my co-host,
Miss Pie.
And we're here to talk about pretty much whatever we can come up with. And today we wanted to talk about, what was it we want to talk about?
Sex education.
Sex education. Now, don't get us wrong. We cannot give you guys a full 15-minute conversation about sex.
Everything.
We can't give you all the details, but we can let you guys know a couple things if you guys aren't already aware of.
Yeah, so we were talking about this earlier, and we were pretty much going over how there were things that we have gone through when we were younger that we kind of wished that somebody would have talked to us about, or maybe just like us learning in general. That we were not able to learn from, the time.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the time I actually learned about sex. When we learned about sex education in elementary, I had no clue what was going on. I didn't pay attention. I think the worst time you could have really thought about trying to educate kids about sex was elementary. Because kids are not going to pay attention to that. And
to be honest,
I don't think they're really right there at that time. I don't really think I'm right at that moment thinking about it. I was thinking about cooties,
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
I wasn't ready either.
Maybe it was great that they did it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but it was confusing as hell.
Yeah, because when they explained it to me, when I went to watch that video, that they had like a presentation.
Yeah.
They had the girls go and then the guys go like separately.
Yeah.
I went and I was just like, what is this? Like, they're just showing us pictures. Like, I guess back then in elementary school, I had no idea what a penis looked like. I had no idea what a vagina looked like, especially when they were inside of each other or whatever.
Yeah.
The penis inside of the vagina.
Yeah.
They showed us a slideshow of, like, what it looks like for a penis to insert a vagina.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it looked on the picture, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't even know.
Yeah, like, it was like, think about it. You would have had to have seen parts.
Yeah.
Private parts at that point in your life.
I don't know what it looks like for a penis into a vagina. I'm
sure there's some people who probably have seen parts before that age, and I hate to say it, but I feel sorry.
But the thing is, like, we were probably too innocent for our age.
Yeah,
because
probably.
I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
I really wasn't.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I probably knew about back then,
I was making fun of girls at that time. I'm telling you, I was just picking on girls, calling and saying, "Oh, they got cooties," and running from them.
The only thing I was familiar with at that time
and all that
was like the body parts that were coming in.
Yeah.
And the smell and like your armpits start to smell when you're first going through like
puberty. Is a nightmare.
I think when you're like 9 or 10, that's when it starts. Like the little sign that you're about to enter puberty, because you recall the smell of your armpits.
Yeah.
And you're like, why do I stink all of a sudden?
Yeah.
But it slowly progresses from there.
I think I remember the first time I felt like it hit me like a ton of bricks that I was feeling something different when my body was changing. I was walking one day, I think back to my house, and as I was walking home, I saw this girl. And, normally I just would look at a girl and I would look at them and I would think, oh, how cute. She's cute, but I would never go any further than that. And I would never turn around. But for some reason, my head or my mind was telling me, I want to take a look at her backside. And I just turned and I'm like, why did I want to look at her backside?
At her butt?
Yeah, at her butt. And I was like, and that's the moment I realized, like, something's happening to me. I wasn't aware. And don't get me wrong, like, people will be like, oh, how do you not know that? Well,
no, sometimes you're innocent. You have no idea what's going on.
I'm going to be frank. I hadn't had a dad, so there wasn't someone coming there and saying, "Son, let me have a talk to you about what it's like to, you're gonna go through, smelling weird and all that stuff." Nobody.
Did your mom talk to you about it?
No, I don't even think my mom had I don't even know if my mom knew how to have a conversation. I think she thought that the school might have taught me that, but I don't blame her for that situation.
If we had
it's
just
kind of an
had
awkward
YouTube,
conversation.
like, I wish I had YouTube back then. I could have just Googled whatever I wanted to.
Yeah.
Or I could have just looked it up on
But
YouTube.
be warned, if you look stuff up, be careful what you type in, okay? Because a lot of weird stuff comes out, man.
Yeah.
You type one thing in and you get 50 different things that you weren't expecting. We watched this movie and these kids did the thing. It's so funny.
But that's one of the examples that I wish I could have had.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the things that, like, those are examples of, like, things that I would have wanted to know. Like, when my mom knew that I was going to that video presentation, she actually, I actually thank my mom. Thank you, Mom, for this, because as much as I hated it, it was necessary. Educating, yeah. It was embarrassing, and I would not have wanted to replay that memory again because it was terrifying.
Yeah.
But thank you, Mom, anyway. She just went out of her way to make sure to explain everything to me after I saw the video. One of the demonstrations she did was, obviously using a banana, and you guys already know what that's going to lead to.
Yeah.
But she went over the details of like what a banana, like obviously not a banana, but what a penis would do, or how it's used.
Just using your imagination, clearly.
Use your imagination. Like she used the banana as like a demonstration.
Yeah.
And she was explaining to me like that people made love, when you're married, you want to have sex and yada yada yada.
Like yada yada yada.
Like, to me, it was explained in a very innocent way because I guess my mom wanted to make me believe that you have to be married to have sex.
Hold on, wait. Sorry, I want to address something, though. And it's important because it's fundamentally important for parents to address this conversation because this isn't something I truly believe that, schools should be entirely trying to teach us.
Yeah.
I think that parents should be able to educate kids without making it seem like it'd be a bad thing to be safe.
Yeah, look, back in the day, I was taught that way because I believe, like, times have changed.
Yeah, of course.
I think a lot more people were conservative back then.
Yeah,
and
more,
especially being raised in a Christian environment, that included a lot of, like, outdated information or outdated moral values.
Right.
And to be honest, it was kind of taught to me that I have to be married to have sex, and that's one of the things that I learned. That was one of the first things that I learned that I wish I would have known, that having sex outside of marriage is totally normal.
Yeah.
And absolutely natural, if anything.
Yeah. And the reason why I bring this up is because back in the time, prehistoric times, I mean, not even prehistoric times, but back in the day before we had teachers, our teachers were our parents.
Yeah.
They were the ones that knew the world, and they taught their wisdom to us. We have to kind of get a little bit back to that when it comes to when we talk about sex, and including safe sex. We have to be. I know that some parents are afraid of the idea of their kid having sexual intercourse. I get it.
It's gonna happen.
But it's gonna happen whether you like it or not.
Do you want it to happen? The question is, as a parent, do you want it to happen in a stupid way or in an educated way? You did all you can. You want to educate. Education never fails. That's the whole point.
That's the thing. Knowledge is power, truly. And especially when it comes to this stuff, because if you don't educate them on these things, then they maybe become self-conscious about their bodies, or they wind up with someone they may not like, or they do something with someone who might trick them
based on their
bad
own
judgment
knowledge.
calls. Yeah,
they can't know much.
That's the thing. And maybe at the heat of the moment something happens, and let's say they want to get sexually active. I know people are like, oh my God, but that might happen. And you want them not to wind up with children at that time. Now, I get it. Maybe in somebody's religions, I was raised Catholic, some religions, they won't allow you to wear condoms. I think that's a little silly because we want to prevent it until they're ready and mature enough to handle children. That's what I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's talk about another important thing. Now this is all the jokes. Hopefully I get this all right. Let's talk about beating the bishop.
And masturbating.
Choking the monkey. Spanking.
I'm going to
punching the
proudly announce women masturbate. I'm tired of this negative stigma behind that women don't have sex lives and we have absolutely no sense of pleasuring ourselves. Like, the hell no. We flick the bean. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
I just hate how it's been looked down upon. Like, you masturbate? Like, you own a vibrator or you touch yourself? Like, what?
Yeah. What?
We're humans.
You watch porno?
Exactly. Like, we watch porn. I watch porn. I masturbate. La da 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 da. I don't care anymore. Like, I have nothing to hide.
It's not to be ashamed
healthy.
of. No,
it's healthy to be sexual.
Yeah, it's healthy. Yeah,
we are all human beings or animals, whatever.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, there have already been studies that prove that abstinence in certain parts in certain worlds, certain parts in certain states don't work. It actually got more increased people impregnated and with children, and by possibly some disease, and nobody wants that life.
Yeah, it's not realistic. Yeah. We have to be realistic. People are going to want to have sex. Yeah. People are going to want to experience pleasure, sexual pleasure.
And if we want them to pace themselves, masturbation is truly the safest way to do it. People are going to be like, well, look, I'm not saying do it consistently, because there have been a little bit of studies that show that masturbating, like if you masturbate 3 or 4 times, 6 times a day, that could lower your sperm. That's not healthy for you, all this stuff. There's a lot of things that could happen. But I will say that if you masturbate, it's not the worst thing in the world. And
look, as a matter of fact, I wish they would teach us in schools. Safe sex is just having sex with yourself. Like, it's not a big deal. Just
you're getting to know yourself before you give it to someone else. That's how it works.
How are you supposed to know what works for you if you don't know anything about yourself?
Exactly. You gotta get to know yourself personally in those directions. Okay, you got to.
Hey, we're all weird. We're all freaky.
Yeah.
Okay?
Look. We're not saying that. Hey, you guys should go watch porn and that's the way you guys should do it. Some people use their imagination. Some people use magazines. Some people use photos of people they know. But I'm not judging here. But but I'm just saying, like, whatever you feel, as long as it's healthy and as long as it's not endangering anyone's life, I think you'll be okay.
Consent involved.
Yeah, yourself. Consent for yourself. First off, let's be clear. Parents love you guys, but you guys do not own people's bodies. You don't own the male, you don't own the female. That's especially the female. You don't own the female's body.
I'm gonna come from a background where, like, it was looked down upon. Mm-hmm. Like, if my brother, I have a brother, and every single time that sex was mentioned, like, it was okay for him to have sex. Mm-hmm. But for us, it's like we have to stay virgins until, like, that's total bullshit, you know? And I'm tired of, like, people teaching that to women. Like, women, we're equals.
Yeah.
You know? We have genitals too. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So that's sexism. Sure. And I experienced sexism when it came to that, because it's like he got talked to about masturbating and he was given condoms by my parents. Yeah. You know, they were like, I'd rather you be safe than get someone pregnant. I get it.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that talk. When the hell was my dad or my mom ever going to be like, I'd rather you just be safe and here are condoms? Or, hey, do you need a vibrator? Because I'd rather you be safe. I wish they would have done that. There was no way any
parent was going to do that for
whatever sex toy.
At least maybe have an open conversation about it.
No. As a matter of fact, if something like that was found in my room, I probably would have been kicked out.
And that's a perfect example for every other person out there too. I've known some people out there personally who have dealt with the same type of sexism where it's like, okay, the female, she's asking for it. Oh, she's a slut, this and that, because she dresses this certain way.
We have to educate the boys and the girls.
Yeah.
Okay? Girls have to understand that it's normal for them to touch themselves and want to, like, feel things or whatever. And boys have to understand that, there's consent.
And the girls are not always asking for it. What the heck, man? What's going on here?
That's taught at an early age. It pretty much narrows down to this. Don't be a dick or an asshole.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Don't be that. Asshole. Don't be those things. Look, I know some people get sexually frustrated, but let's get real here. If that be the case, go to TJ. Go to places where you could hook up with a girl for dirt cheap. Yeah, go hook up with a prostitute. I hear a lot of guys lose their virginities because their dads forced them to go to these places and then they lose their virginity.
That's awful.
Hey, that's up to you. That's your way, whatever. But I truly believe if you're gonna have sex, have it with someone you care about or some kind of special connection in some weird way.
The point is, safe sex doesn't always mean no sex.
Yeah, no, of course not.
There's no such thing as, like, not going without releasing your sexual desires.
Once you've explored your sexual. I remember when I finally explored my sexual desire. I think it was like 17 or something at the time, or 16. But once I finally felt it, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. This isn't, I didn't know how to feel about it because I always thought it was going to be scary because you always thought STDs and you hear about all this stuff and you're like, oh my God, it terrifies you because you're thinking, you're in high school, you're thinking you're going to wind up with a baby or you're going to wind up getting a disease. That's what you were thinking at the time. But the reality is that if you just played it smart and wise, you could have wind up having yourself a good time. I'm not saying you should. I would wait until I found someone special, or at least maybe out of high school, because I feel like high school sex is not as great as outside of high school. I'm just throwing it out there. So
I'm gonna have to agree with that.
I would have to say that masturbation would probably be your best bet while you're still in high school.
Brings us to like the end topic for. I'm just gonna say that out loud. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm old now, and I realize that these are things that I wish I would have had. Like be the change that you want to see in the world.
Right.
One of these things that I really thought to talk about was there's nothing wrong with women having sex toys. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
That's something that I wish I would actually had at a very young age. Because I much have rather used that than to be having sex with boys who didn't give a fuck about me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. Look, whatever way to prevent STDs and whatever way to prevent a person getting pregnant, I say I'm all on board for it. If it means condom, if it means birth control, if it means using a vibrator or pocket pussy, I know not a lot of people are not going to like that. Whatever. Just give it an open mind. But that's how we're going to end this.
Yeah, just do what feels good, but at the same time, don't be an asshole.
Yeah. So if you guys like this, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of feedback off of this. Please leave a comment, a like, or subscribe to our channel. If you guys have any comments or any opinions you guys want to share that you guys want us to talk about on this YouTube podcast, feel free to leave it behind on the comment below.
We're not afraid to explore different topics, so let us know.
Yeah. Catch you guys later.
Much love.